by Joey Logano, who's driving a number 22 AAA Insurance Ford. We're going to go straight to questions. We have several waiting in the queue, and our first question will go to Bob Pockris. Go ahead with the question, Bob.
Yeah, Joey, has your team considered sending anybody home just to continue work on any Phoenix stuff rather than just sitting here in the rain?
It's a good idea. No, not at the moment. There is a team of people preparing that Phoenix car as we speak. I told Paul he should go home and start massaging on that thing, come back. But I think he said he's not allowed to work on the cars anymore. So we continue to, go over Phoenix stuff while we're here at the racetrack. And yes, the one good thing about this is that we were able to spend a lot of time with no distractions to really talk about Phoenix and, whether it's car setup or car build or strategy, restarts, driving styles, you name it. We've gone through as much as we can.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead with the question, Jordan.
Joey, does it give you guys any bit of advantage, the fact that these next two races, Texas and Martinsville, don't mean anything to you and you guys are locked in and you can just focus in on all the attention, and teams now are going to have to go back and kind of scramble a little bit in the next couple weeks?
Of course, that is the advantage of winning the first round or the first race in the third round.
But especially now too, right?
I mean, that's probably the same advantage at this point. I don't think it, just because it's rained here and we're behind, I don't think that changes it. I think we still kind of have the same advantage we had before.
Thanks.
Yep.
Our next question will come from Dustin Long. Go ahead with the question, Dustin.
Thank you. Joey, I'm just curious, with having the experience in 2018 of winning early in this round and having those extra weeks, has that shaped in any way what you're doing or what you're not doing? Did you learn anything of what to do or not to do in that extra 2 weeks that you're taking advantage of at this point?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. For one, probably the biggest thing is that you're kind of relaxed to a certain extent. Your batteries are going to be charged up when you get to Phoenix. Obviously you have more time just to work on one race. There is a couple other races that you still go through, and there's still, there's a lot on the line still. There's a trophy. This is a big race to win here in Texas, and Martinsville is always a crown jewel event that I look at that's really special to have. And we're racing for a starting position at Phoenix, and those trophies and the checks that come along with it. So and the stats, that's enough to make me race hard. So we don't really back off any. We want to keep that intensity level up. That's one of the important things right now. You don't want to just take the next 2 weeks off and just forget about it. You want to keep momentum, keep the intensity, at the same time really putting a lot of your focus though towards Phoenix.
Thank you.
Yep.
Our next question will come from Jeff Gluck. Go ahead with the question, Jeff.
What do you do during a 3-day rain delay aside from talk about Phoenix?
What do you do? The same stuff probably. Once you're done with that type of things, I found the gym. I went there and worked out, got some energy out because I've gone crazy inside this motorhome. This is how crazy I am. I called Eddie Gossage and asked him if there's anything I can do to help because I'm that bored. So that's a very risky move. If you guys know Eddie, that's a risky play. And I took that. That's how bored I am. I'm willing to do anything at this point. I tried to get him to open up that go-kart track outside the track and then at least let us go play with those. So it's a lot of sitting around and making a lot of phone calls. Got caught up on everything that I've been behind for the last month on. So that part feels good, but I'm caught up at this point. So it'd be really nice if we can get this race started.
Our next question will come from John Sturbing. Go ahead with the question, John. You're on mute, John.
There you go. Joey, what kind of track conditions are you expecting now that it's rained for 3 days and the temperature probably won't be much better than this tomorrow?
We've talked about that some. When I think about this PJ1 on the racetrack, and that stuff's usually activated with heat. And obviously as cold as it is, I expect that to be pretty slick and take a while to come in. So I'd say from that standpoint, there's not going to be much grip in the PJ1, but outside of the PJ1, there'll probably be a lot more grip than what we had the other day, being as cold as it is. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see and adjust to it. But cars aren't going to be driving the same as they did a couple days ago.
Our next question will come from Jeff Magliocchetti. Go ahead with the question, Jeff.
Hi, Joey. Thanks for taking the time to join us. This seems like another curveball that the year 2020 has thrown at us. And, you know, it's just been one of the most unusual seasons in recent NASCAR memory. So what's the biggest lesson that you're going to take away from this, the 2020 season that's coming to an end soon?
Oh, biggest lesson. I'd say the biggest thing that I've learned throughout all this is when you think something is impossible and something that you're too scared to try, you should try it, because it's usually not as bad as you make it out to be in your mind. Case in point, a few times this year in this sport, who would have ever thought that we go to a road course we've never raced at before and just line up and race without practice? Are you kidding me? You say that in January, February this year, we say you're nuts, and we will never, ever do that. And we're forced to do things like that, right? That's just one case in our sport. Imagine just the things that every company is going through right now, trying to find ways to become profitable again, or at least just cover their costs. You have to be creative. You have to think outside of the box, and you can't be scared of trying anything. And I think that alone is probably the biggest thing I've learned that I can take forward with me, you know, for years to come.
Thanks, Joey. Good luck whenever we race.
Thanks. Yeah.
Our next question will come from Mark Garrow. Go ahead with the question, Mark.
Thank you, Joey. I'm up top of this racetrack, like Groundhog Day, doing the same report every hour for 3 days, saying the same thing, right? At any point, I mean, do you sit there and go like, man, what else? I mean, will this ever end? Or you just sort of keep the glass half full and try to stay ready?
You just try to stay ready. You know, I'm usually a silver linings person. So I like thinking that we're going to go at some point today. It's getting obviously a little later as we keep going here. And I've been in this media center for about an hour now, so I don't know exactly what it looks like out there, but I still hear jet dryers. So yeah, it means they're working on the track. You know, I could imagine, how about being in one of those Air Titans all day long, that thing humming along. I swear I went to sleep last night. This is no joke. I went to sleep and closed my eyes, and I swear I heard Air Titans in my head. These things just keep on going. So boy, it just hasn't stopped enough, and they get so close, and then they get wet again. So that to me seems like a kind of a job that's pretty challenging right now, as they almost get the track close enough for us to make some laps, and then it gets wet again. So I appreciate them trying and putting the effort in. You can say that for sure, that NASCAR is putting in all they can do to get us on the racetrack. Yeah, 100%. It's not like they're waiting saying there's another cell coming, we'll just see if it passes us. Now they're out there drying any second they possibly got, and just haven't had enough dry time to make it happen yet.
Do you feel like this is another added bonus to winning the race last week at Kansas, and the fact that when we do run this race, with the way the PJ1 could be and the slickness and all the other question marks with the cold, that no matter what happens, you know, you're worry free as far as the Final Four at Phoenix? Do you feel like this is just another bonus? You didn't plan on it, but it ends up being another bonus. Yeah,
I mean, it's any way you look at it, you get that pressure off, and that's nice. When I was watching the broadcast back from the 50 something laps we've run so far, they had the points as they run, and I cannot believe how close they are at the moment. So obviously a lot of things are going to change from there, you know, and it won't look like that at the end of the race for sure, but kind of crazy to think it's what the points are right now if the race has ended, and you know, and they moved on to Martinsville all within a point of each other. That's pretty insane. So yeah, I guarantee you I'm sleeping better than any of them.
Thank you again.
Yep. Our next question will come from Greg Engel. Go ahead with the question, Greg.
Hey, Joey, we're all having fun just like you. But Jeff kind of asked my question, so I'll kind of expand on that. You've got your motorhome there, so that's kind of logistics of that. Is your motorhome's there? you're not stuck having to try and find a hotel or anything. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate from that position. I just took the bus from Kansas to here, and then I go from here out to Phoenix for the race out there. So kind of lucky to have something here to be able to spend some time on. I think of a lot of the pit crew guys, the crew guys, the spotters. They're all sitting in their cars, and I feel very guilty because I'm like, I wish they can just come into the bus and hang out with me. For one, for them to get out of their cars, and two, is I'm really bored in there and I want someone to talk to. But we can't with COVID. So this is a bit frustrating for me because I'm not very good alone. I got to have people around me all the time. I don't like being alone. So this has been kind of a long few days for me and for them, for sure.
So you kind of answered that. You can't, because normally you can go places, you can go to a restaurant, but you're stuck because you're in the bubble. So that's got to be frustrating. They're talking about some people are now starting to see sleet around the track. So just throw that out there. That's my last question.
Cool.
So, yeah, I thought you would appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Why not?
And
maybe it'll snow.
And
we'll make snow angels.
Yeah, the Titans were talking about they're going to do practice runs, like when you have a problem and your lap's down, you're not going to win the race, but you're getting notes. That's what they're doing out on the track. So, thank you, sir. Have a good weekend. Have a good race whenever it happens.
Thanks. Maybe they'll let me drive a jet dryer or something do something different.
Why not?
I would do it. Sign me up. I'll do anything. I'll drive a jet dryer. That sounds kind of fun.
Let's get Eddie.
At least for one lap. I don't want to be out there all day. I just want to make a lap or two.
With a 6-gun out the window.
Okay, our next question will come from Lee Spencer. Go ahead with the question, Lee.
I think you've driven a Zamboni, so at least you're somewhat qualified, right?
Yeah, somewhat. I don't know if that's quite the same, but we can get the Zamboni going. I need to post this picture of what my dad did to one of their Zambonis down at the ice rink. They made one street legal and put a bunch of seats where the snow normally goes. And he drops the conditioner going down the road and sparks this conditioner on the street. It's the only probably street legal Zamboni you've ever seen. That thing's pretty cool. I'll have to post a picture of that.
Sounds like something Tom would do.
Yep, definitely is.
Just kind of curious, and I don't want to name or anything, but did you early vote now that you're stuck in Texas? It's getting down to crunch time, and you may be doing other things on Tuesday.
I need to. I actually called my wife today, and she voted today. So we were planning on doing that this week. Obviously, things are a little bit different. So she still went and got that done, and I'll probably find time when I get back at some point before Martinsville.
The other thing with the way the pandemic has laid out in the past, Team Penske with the IndyCar season getting way earlier than Cup. Normally, they put a lot of the effort from IndyCar onto the Cup teams. Is there going to be any time to do that since the transition is so short this year?
Yeah, I mean, there is. I don't know how much that actually changes what goes on. Yes, we're all in the same building, and yes, we cross some employees back and forth. But it's not a lot. But I will say from the manufacturing side, through the CNC machines and things like that, obviously, maybe more effort goes towards the NASCAR side as we're the ones racing right now. That's all there is to work on. So, yeah, I mean, there's some advantage there, but I don't think it's very big.
And does the foundation have anything coming up soon that you might want to talk about or tease?
Sure. Yeah. So we've been doing the Believe 22 campaign over the last, 8 weeks into it now during the playoffs, where we've given $22,000 a weekend to organizations that help give second chances to children and young adults in times of crisis. So we thought that was important. That's our mission. We've done a lot of things during COVID to help with the COVID-19 response and relief fund that we did earlier this year. But we also know that, a lot of these organizations that help these kids that need role models, that need a place to live, that need, just some structure around them, are hurting for money this year, as a lot of people aren't making the money they used to. And it's a lot harder to give money when you're not making as much, right? And so that's what these organizations are dealing with. So we wanted to make sure we stayed true to our mission and continued that support. And then we're capping it all off with another Convoy of Hope truck in Phoenix on Monday after the race, where it's basically a tractor trailer full of essentials for people that live around the race community. So we've done 4 of those so far, and it's been really good. We've teamed up with the NASCAR Foundation and done those, and been really good. The first one was in Darlington, and we had everybody was there. It was really good and really special. We thought that was really important because typically we impact the race markets financially in the economy a lot, right? Because you have 100,000 people showing up, you got hotel rooms, airplane travel, all that, right? And now it's just us, here, and there's not as many fans, and now there is some, but we also wanted to make sure that, we didn't just go to these racetracks and communities to just take and go home. We wanted to try to show some support, and these Convoy of Hope trucks have helped us do that.
Sounds like a wonderful plan, Joey. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Casey Campbell. Go ahead with the question, Casey.
Thanks, Matt, for giving all of us something to do. Hey, Joe, how are you, buddy?
Thank you for giving me something to do.
Well, the thing is, my phone's busted, so I need something. Yeah, it got water in it somehow, some way. I don't know how it's raining here in Michigan, so I don't really. Yeah, I've been watching Hulu all day, so that's what I've been doing. But the thing is, have you watched any like Netflix or Hulu kind of thing or anything like that? What have you been? Have you been? I see Blaney and Bubba are playing like some kind of golf thing or something. But what have you done? I know Jeff kind of asked this, but what is there? Do you find anything like to do?
I don't know if you guys realize I don't have many friends at the racetrack, so I just hang out. I study Phoenix. I've watched that race back a couple times. I've gone through some SMT data. I've watched back the races so far here at Texas, looked at some Martinsville stuff. And like I said, made as many phone calls and got caught up on all my extracurricular activities that I don't typically have time to get to. So that has been my last couple days at this point.
Okay, thanks, Joey.
Thanks.
Do we have any additional questions for Joey before we cut him loose into his eternal boredom?
No, that's me.
Good deal. Well, Joey, I really appreciate you taking the time, and good luck down there, and look forward to getting this race underway whenever we can.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We'll get it in eventually. Don't eat everything.
Try not to. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, Joey. Thanks, Joey.
Bye.